Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a good fall weekend and you're ready to hit it hard here today. Um, want to discuss one of my favorite topics. So, what is it about our system that gets 90, especially the 21-point checklist, that gets 94% closing ratio? And that other 6% essentially is because we don't want them. It's not because they wouldn't close, it's because we don't want them. What is it that gets them 94% of people saying they want to move their money to us? Even, get this, even before we show them a product. How many other systems out there get people to move their money before you even show them what you're going to propose? You're not, every other system is about, hey, look at my great thing, look at my great thing, look at my great thing, look at my great thing. Do we do that to get them to move? No. They move prior to that. So we got one right answer so far. Two right answers. So what is it in the 20-point checklist, though, that gets them to move? If I use a 20-point checklist and I show them they're paying too much in fees, will they move if they are paying too much in fees? Give me a Y or an N. Will they move if they're paying too much in fees? Very good, Dale. Everybody's, yeah, very good, Nick, Tom. You guys are so smart. Yes. No, they're not going to move for too much fees. They go to their advisor and say, I'm paying too much in fees. And what would their advisor say? Okay, let's move it. Will they move for too much in risk? No, they'll go to their advisor and say, well, I'm too much in risk, and they'll move it. So the only thing that gets them to move, and so we've had several right answers, is motive. When they decide that the reason the guy is making all these mistakes, 21 different mistakes, or 16 out of the 21 mistakes, or 17 out of the 21 mistakes, or 19 out of the 21 mistakes, when they find out he's making those mistakes, not because they're mistakes, but because he would have a motive to line his pocket by making these mistakes, that's when they move. Will a tire kicker move if they think their guy is screwing them? Yes. Will a plate licker move if they think their guy is screwing them? Yes. Will somebody who's their son is their advisor move if they think the company their son works for is screwing them? Yes. So motive is the key. So these are all just problems. And if we present them as problems, guess what? Problems can be what? Fixed. And could their current advisor, push come to shove, fix any of these things for them? Yes. So these are not designed to show them they have problems. This is designed to show them they have one problem. And that one problem, these many problems are not about these many problems. These many problems are about their one problem, which is that the guy is taking advantage of them. So the first bunch here, they're thinking, you know what? Why didn't he cover these things? These things are good things for him to cover. Maybe he doesn't know about them and they're disappointed. Well, most clients, what percentage of clients will leave their advisor over these things? Virtually none. So why do we do them? Because before they came into the office, did they love their advisor? Before they came into their office, did they love their advisor? Yes, they did, or they would have moved a long time ago. I do have people say, well, they wouldn't be meeting with me if they didn't love their advisor. Wrong. They're there for free information. They're going to take that back to their current advisor. If they really didn't like their advisor, would they have waited? Would they have waited until you sent them some sort of marketing piece to meet with you, or would they have changed advisors a long time ago? Yeah. So these first things are about getting the foot in the door and having them think, wait a minute, my guy, he doesn't walk on water. Wait a minute. You know what? He should be coming. And remember, we use this script of, I apologize for covering these things. I know they're icky, they're putsy, they're boring. We'd rather talk about the investments, and we'll get to the investments, but why do you think I'm covering the power of attorney? Or why do you think I'm covering the medical power of attorney? Why do you think I'm calling the quality of life? Why do you think I'm covering identity theft plan? Why do you think I'm covering umbrella? I don't sell these things. Why am I covering these things? What kind of advisor would I be if I didn't cover these things? That's right, a bad advisor. If I said, hey, it's not my problem, is that really what a financial advisor do, or is that what a salesperson says? And do you want a salesperson? You want to find it? See, if I do that over and over and over with these, it starts to change their mindset from the guy who walks on water, the guy's on a pedestal, to You know what? My guy needs to pick up his game. They will not move for this, but does it change their whole mindset of their guy with these things? Yes. Then the next things are, he doesn't care. He knows about these things. He just doesn't want to take time to do them. Why doesn't he want to take time to do them? Why doesn't he want to take time to do titling? Why doesn't he want to take time to do beneficiaries? Why doesn't he want to take time to do tax savings? Why doesn't he want to take time, guys? I sure as heck hope he knows how to title accounts correctly, and how to do beneficiaries correctly, and how to get their clients tax savings. Why don't they do that then? That's right. They're not paid. So if he doesn't get paid, he ain't doing it. So that means he doesn't care. Now they go from disappointed to what? Irritated. So now by the time they're at this point, now we find out, wait. He didn't tell me about the fees because I would have made a different choice and he would have made less money. He didn't tell me about the asset weighting because I would have made a different choice and he would have made less money. He didn't tell me about the tenure because I would have made a different choice and he would be out money. He didn't tell me about the turnover because I would have made a different choice and he would have been out money. He didn't tell me about the preferred list because I would have made a different choice. He would have been out money. He didn't tell me about risk reward because if I did know this, I would have made a different choice. He'd be out of money. He didn't tell me about the diversification because if I did, I would have made a different choice and he'd be out of money. Out of money. Now they're what? When they find those things out, and is it me saying those things or the client saying those things? The client, and they get angry. See, because mistakes can be fixed. That first year I figured out a market and I got in front of 300 plus people, $34 million, and only closed 3 of them for $800,000. Those people did fix all those mistakes. Who'd they fix them with? The other people, they've changed and made all the recommendations I made, but they made them with their guy. Because when they went back and yelled at their guy, what'd their guy do? Cross my heart, hope to die, stick a needle in my eye, I'll never make this mistake again. The client says, okay, you better not. I'll give you one more chance, but you better not. And so does the guy get to keep the client? Heck, I was getting gift baskets that December from all the advisors in town that I'd made them so much money by getting their clients to move their money around, and they didn't have to do anything except move the money. Mistakes can be fixed. They can be forgiven. I mean, the analogy I give is this, let's say we hear that somebody ran over a 3-year-old and killed them. How sad would we be for the 3-year-old and the 3-year-old's family? Sad or not sad? Sad. Of course we'd be sad, unless there's some sort of psychopath. Now, are we going to be sad for the driver of the car? So everybody answer this. Will we be sad for the driver of the car? I'm getting half yeses and half no's, and neither of those are the right answer, or should I say both of those are the right answer because it depends. Let's say that we find out that driver was a loved high school football coach and math teacher, but because he doesn't get paid as much as a teacher, he also on the weekend moonlights at Costco, and he has to get up at 3 in the morning to do that. So he was backing out of his driveway at 3 in the morning. Does he expect a 3-year-old to be in his driveway at 3 in the morning? And he ran over and killed that 3-year-old. Now, do we feel bad for that driver? It's in the middle of the night. He can't see anything. He certainly doesn't expect a 3-year-old to be in his driveway at 3 in the morning. So we're going to feel bad for him. Now, we hear about another 3-year-old that was killed, and we find out that the driver was high on crack, and he and his buddy had a bet to see how many people they could run over, how many children they could run over that day. Now, are we mad at him? See, the difference is accidents, mistakes can be forgiven. Sure, that teacher and football coach should have maybe looked a little bit closer, but we think, you know what, that's a mistake I could have made too, right? But purposely running over kids, is that a mistake we could make? No. So we have how much sympathy for that person? None. We want to string them up. See, for crime, there needs to be an opportunity. There needs to be a means. But most importantly, there has to be a motive. When there's a motive, then it's a crime. It has to be a motive. And when you can create that motive and have the client realize in their own words there is a motive, you're going to bat 1,000. See, because when I ask people, what's your closing ratio? When advisors first come on the system, I'll say, what's your closing ratio? And guess what? When somebody first comes on the system, guess what they tell me their closing ratio is? Not everybody, but the vast majority of guys and gals, when they come on the system, guess what they tell me their closing ratio is? Yep, 80 or 90%. That's right. They tell me it's 80 or 90%. I'm like, man, then you must be running a seminar every week. Because if your closing ratio was 80 or 90%, what would you make on a seminar? What would you make on a seminar? If your closing ratio true is 80 or 90%, what would your closing? What would you be making? Probably $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 per seminar, right? $100,000 per seminar. Well, let's just assume. Let's say that we get 17 buying units, or let's do easy, 15 buying units. We close 80 or 90% of them. So let's say we close, just say, make it easy, we close 12 of them. They average about 300,000. That's 300. So what's 12 times? That's 3.6 million per. So what's 3.6% on 3.6 million? Quick, somebody do the math. What's 6%? Or let's say you're only going to put half of it into FIAs. Then what's 6% of 6 million is what? 360,000. So when I do the math with them, guess what they tell me? Oh, no, because I don't close 80 or 90% of seminars because those people are full of what? Tire kickers and play lickers. So what they're saying is, I have an 80 or 90% closing ratio when what? When the person is pre-sold. And is there any marketing out there that pre-sells people? Is there any marketing out there that pre-sells people? If there was marketing out there that pre-sold people, who would be out of a job? I would be, and you would be. Why? Would all the insurance companies and all the money managers and all the mutual fund companies and everybody else like to get us out of the picture? Who's their biggest expense? We are. Now, there is about 10% of people out there that are do-it-yourselfers. They can be sold by marketing, but the other 90%, they need to be sold by a human being. So do these people, let's say they have an 80 or 90% closing ratio, what are they talking about? Referrals. Well, God, should you have an 80 or 90% closing ratio referrals? No. You should have a what? Closing ratio with referrals? 100%. But you know what? If you can get this bus full of people pulls up to your door, and you can get every one of them to say their advisor is screwing them, what's your closing ratio going to be? 100%. See, here's the thing. When a bus pulls up, 6 of them are gettable. Now, 1, by just doing the 21-point checklist with no scripts, just giving them, you don't even have to memorize the scripts, just give them the 21 different things and you get them to move. They think, wow, this guy really cares about me. I'm going to go ahead and move. 2, you'll get by the client saying the advisor doesn't care. 2, you're going to get by the client saying he did it on purpose. 1, you're just going to say it takes too long to get them. You know what? I'm out. I don't want to work with I'd love to work with a wife. Don't work with a husband. He's a jerk. So I've chosen not to work with him. Now, wait a minute. I said you'd close 100% of people on this bus. And now I'm only saying you can close 6% or 60%. Who are the other 4? What's wrong with the other 4 people on this bus? It's not that the tire kickers, they're all tire kickers. It's not that the plate lickers, they're all plate lickers. What's wrong with the other? If you have a bus full of seniors, or you do a seminar with seniors, does everybody have money? And when I say that's right, Tom, they're poor. They just have no money. And when I say no money, am I saying they don't have money that they're willing to move, or I'm saying no, they're poor? Which one? If they've got money to move, they're in the 6%. I'm 6%. The 6 out of 10, the 60%. The other 4 have no money. I mean, do you really want to take on a client that's got $75,000 and is hoping their investments are going to grow to the point to get them out of their current situation. No. So here's the thing. When most guys that do come on board at first, they say, I close 80 or 90% of people. And so they'll say there's 10% from like a seminar or from any type of marketing you have, whether it's lead marketing, seminar, whatever type of marketing you have. You're in the right place at the right time. The guy just retired. They just died. They moved to a different city and they want to have an advisor closer to them. You're in the right place at the right time. And here's what guys think. Well, these people were ready to move, so I got an 80 to 90% closing ratio on these people. Well, everybody can. Then you get 10% of people who never buy, and there is a person who will never buy. Who's the person? Well, there's only one person that I cannot sell. Who's that person? Let's see if anybody gets this. There is one person I cannot close. Who is that person? Wow, Mark, you are a genius. Mark got it. A single male do-it-yourselfer. I can close a couple that's a do-it-yourselfer. I cannot close because I can rely on the wife to say, we're giving him some of our money. I want this guy in my life. This guy has to be around. I want him watching over you. But a single do-it-yourselfer can't close him. That's that 10%. So I said you could also close one out of the 10 because just by doing the 20-point checklist, you don't even do the script because they know that you're different. You know they care. You can close a couple, 1.5 more because they figure out, my guy doesn't even care about me. And then you close that other group. They figure once you do the motive, this is motive. You're going to get all of these people with motive, 6 out of the 10, because they're saying, you know what, my guy not only doesn't care, but he did this stuff on purpose to line his own pockets, and it cost me money. And the rest of people, no money. Because if in the first 30 minutes the client says, any advisor doesn't make money or make sure my POA works as a lousy advisor, my advisor purposely used the wrong form to make money of me when I'm dead, and then wants to do the same thing to my kids. What is this talking about, guys? What script is this talking about? My advisor purposely used the wrong form to make money on me when I'm dead, and then wants to do the same thing to my kids. That is something that your client should say. What script is it? Tom's got it. Nick's got it. Very good. Mark's got it. Bonnie's got it. Good job, Bonnie. So yeah, that's the titling. That's the titling, right? Because if they do the titling correctly, it goes directly to the kids. If they don't do the titling correctly, it goes through probate, and then that gives the advisor time to what? First of all, they keep the money till the probate occurs, and they're sweet talking their clients, kids, to try to get them to move the money. If they say, in the first 30 minutes, my advisor only cares about making money on me. My needs and my family's needs are just an afterthought. He's all about his paycheck. That's beneficiaries. If they say those things in the first 30 minutes, and then 18 other unflattering things, what's a tire kicker going to do? What's a plate licker going to do? What's somebody who their son is their advisor going to do? See, you don't tell them a thing. They need to show us. They need to explain to us. They need to prove to us these things. And then they have to decide, can we fix the facts that we no longer trust our advisor? Once you decide that guy is screwing you, can that be fixed, guys? Nope. And how quickly do they want to move the money when they figure out the guy is screwing them? After vacation or before or during vacation? We've got a ton of tapes of advisors getting clients to move money. They're on vacation in Mexico or in the Bahamas or wherever, and they're on the phone moving money during their vacation. How many other systems out there have that kind of power? That people will move their money, take time out of their vacation, a day out of, 2-3 hours of their vacation to find a phone, find a fax or whatever they need, or be on the computer so they can move the money right then and there. Why does that happen? Because once you feel you've been disrespected, what happens to that thought in your brain? Does it go away or does it stay? You can't get rid. It festers. That's right. So we got to find the motive. What's the motive? So let's talk about this. They have to accuse their advisor. They have to. Because if we accuse their advisor, what's their knee-jerk reaction? If we accuse their advisor of screwing them, what's their knee-jerk reaction? Yeah, they get defensive. Because then they think we're attacking them and their ability to make decisions. So I love this quote. I don't like country music, but I don't mean to denigrate those who do. For the people who like country music, denigrate means put down. so guys, sometimes we think we're not putting people down, but we're what? We are. So when you try to tell somebody their guy is screwing them, you're like, no, I'm just trying to help you. And I know you are trying to help them. But is that how they look at it? No, they look at it. The only reason you're trying to tell me that is because you think I'm stupid. The only reason you're trying to tell me this is you want me to move my money to you. So we cannot tell them. What good can come from us telling them? Nothing. Who's the only person they believe 100% of the time? Themselves. And we're able to do this. So we're able to do this because the whole 21-point checklist is full of a certain type of question that attorneys cannot use. What are the kind of questions that we use that attorneys cannot use? With the 21-point checklist, what are the kind of open-ended questions that we ask that attorneys can use open-ended questions, can't they? Can attorneys use open-ended questions? Yes. So what kind of question do we ask that attorneys? You're watching a TV show and the defense says, objection. Ah, very good, Tom. Leading questions. Objection. He's leading the witness. We can ask leading questions. We ask who, what, where, when, how, and why questions to move them along the process. And I get so many people say, it's so hard to ask open-ended questions. Is it hard to ask open-ended questions, guys? No. Now, here's the funny thing. I'm going to give you a way to think about me that you're going to think I'm either a genius or I'm a soothsayer, because here's the thing. I created scripts, open-ended questions 23 years ago. Those scripts are still being used today just as effective, in fact, more effective. People are making more money now than they were 20 years ago with these scripts. I predicted, when I made these scripts, I predicted 23 years in the future what your client would say when they answer that question. And I will tell you, I'll predict another 23 years in the future what they're going to say 23 years from now. These questions have been tested 60,000 times that we have recorded tapes, probably 120,000 that we don't have tapes for. And we know exactly what the client is going to say when you ask the questions I give you. So, should you go and try to invent your own open-ended questions? I guess you could. You could reinvent the whole system, which it took me 3 years to really fine-tune. Or you could do what? Use mine. Memorize them. They're designed to get the client to say, you know what, I'm way disappointed. In their head, my advisor's a bad advisor. And do we ever even mention their guy's name during these first non-financial? Do we ever mention their name? No. But in their mind, they're thinking, my guy's a bad advisor. That's a good thing, which allows us to get to the point where, because what is the motive for Survivor's Guide, POA, MPOA, e-filing, Quality of Life Directive, Identity Theft, Umbrella? The motive is what? He's lazy. And we say, what kind of advisor would I be if I didn't do Survivor's Guide? What kind of advisor would I be if I didn't do power of attorney? What kind of advisor would I be if I didn't do MPOA and e-filing? What kind of advisor would I be if I didn't do Quality of Life Directive? What kind of advisor would I be if I didn't do Identity Theft Plan? What kind of advisor would I be if I didn't do an umbrella? And do we do it bragging, guys, or do we do it apologetically? And I'm sorry. I mean, you're probably wondering, why is this guy? You thought we came in here to talk about investments, and I'm rambling on about Survivor's Guide. I'm rambling on about these legal things like power of attorney and medical power of attorney. I mean, I get it. You're probably scratching your head. And sometimes I scratch my head because do I get paid for doing this? Well, no. No, I don't. So sometimes I scratch my head and wonder why I'm doing this. Is this fun stuff or not fun stuff to cover? Well, not fun. But if I said, hey, you know what, power of attorneys, that's not my deal. That's your attorney's deal. Really, no sweat off my back if it's wrong. No sweat off my back if you get in a situation where you can't get your Social Security or Medicare's not paying. If I said that, what kind of advisor would I be? Well, not a very good one. Yeah, if I said, well, geez, that's the attorney's job. That's Social Security's job. It's not my job. What would you say about me if I knew that was a problem and I didn't even bring it up? Well, you're not doing your job. Right. And should I know about something this important if I'm an advisor, a financial advisor? Well, yeah, you should. If I didn't, what kind of advisor would I be? Well, not a very good one. Yeah, so, I apologize. We're going to get to the money, that fun stuff, the sexy stuff. But right now we're covering this boring stuff. But why do I do it? Well, because it's your job. And, you wouldn't be a very good advisor if you didn't. Who said that I'm a great advisor, and who in their mind is starting to think my advisor is not so great? Me or them? And did I do it in the form of bragging about myself or apologizing and making them come to my rescue? And see, when you do that over and over and over with all of these, do they get that their guy should be doing these things without you even bringing it? And here's the thing. If I never bring up their guy, can they defend their guy? So we're about 40 minutes into the meeting, and have I slammed their guy over and over and over? If I do this for every single one, have I slammed their guy 20, 30 times? Yes. But can they defend their guy during that first 40 minutes? Oh, I've been slamming him. Because if all I do is talk about the investments, things I get paid to do, am I an advisor or am I a salesman? No, you're a salesman. Yeah, so do you expect an advisor to cover more than just what they sell you? More than just the investments? I mean, I guess if they call themselves a financial salesman, it's okay. But if they call themselves a financial advisor, they should advise on what? Well, financial things. Yeah, and is how the power of attorney affects Social Security. Is that a financial thing? Yes. Is having a quality of life directive so you're not using the hospitals a financial thing? Well, yeah, it is. What's the biggest expense? What's the biggest expense that can undo the best retirement savings in the world? Well, healthcare expenses. Yeah. So if I said, well, who needs that? It's not my fault, the quality of life directive. I mean, geez, what use the hospitals? I don't really care. It's not really my thing. If that was my attitude, what kind of advisor would it be if I ignored the biggest expense that can unwind retirement, even the best retirement? Well, not a good one. And are there people that run up those kind of bills for a health experience? Yes, yeah, there is. See, guys, what am I doing there? Not mentioning their guy, but they're thinking what? Man, my guy should be doing this. He's lazy or he doesn't know. Which is better, lazy? Or if you've got an advisor, which is better, lazy or doesn't know? And when I say, really? So I'm going to poke fun at you, Tom. Tom said it's okay for my advisor not to know. Is that really a good thing? So which one is better, not know or lazy? What's the correct answer to that? Neither is the correct answer. Neither. Do I want the guy that's handling my retirement dollars to be lazy? Do I want the guy handling all my retirement? Do I want my doctor to be lazy? And, geez, I really don't have time or the desire to look to see, make sure I took all the utensils out of your gut before I close you up. It's neither. I don't want my guy lazy. I don't want him around if he doesn't know. When it's something important, do you want that person helping you to be lazy? I don't care if it's digging a pool, surgeon, financial advisor. Do you want that guy to be lazy or do you want them not to know? You want them what? Neither. What's the motive for titling? He gets to keep your money longer, right? By having the titling wrong and having it not go directly to your kids, but instead go through probate, he gets to keep the money longer. And what's he going to do now that he's keeping the money longer? He's making money on it. What else is he doing while the money's sitting there trying to go through probate? Calling up the kids and romancing them. So he wants to do the same thing to the kids that he just did to you. Beneficiaries, he only cares about his own checkbook. Motive fees, he hid the fees to make money off of you. Because if you knew the fees you were paying, would you have made, and he showed you choices with less fees, would you have made the same decision? What does 100% of clients say when you do this? If you were shown something that was going to get you, remember, with fees, Like with the VA, they're paying for what type of life insurance? Expensive, taxable life insurance, and they could have got the same expensive. That's right. Expensive, taxable life insurance. They could have got, and if they had the choice of buying those funds with or without the life insurance, they would have what? Bought it without the life insurance. And then we also tie fees to the risk-reward curve. And with the risk-reward curve, guys, where did 90+% of their funds end up? Above or below that line we draw through the risk-reward curve? And that line costs them to invest. How much does it cost for them to invest on that diagonal line? It's free. Can you buy the S&P 500 for free? Can you buy a CD for free? Yes. So why are they having you pay more to get what? Less. Because if you'd known this, if you knew you could have invested for free and had better risk reward, more reward for less risk, would you have invested the way you did with him? Well, no. Well, if it's free, guess how much money he makes on free? Nothing. Yeah, nothing. So it'd be okay if he showed you both that diagonal line and your funds. Did he show you both the diagonal line and how to invest in those and your funds and how they're performing side by side? Did he do that? How many advisors do that, guys? What percentage of advisors do that? What percent of advisors show them that they could invest for free that diagonal line on Morningstar and how it compares to their current funds? None do. I wonder, so why didn't he do this? Because he wants to screw me. Asset weighting. He overweighted the market because if he overweighted the money in the market, why? Why did he overweight the money in the market? Does he get paid if he put money in the CD? Does he get paid if he put money in the money market? Does he get paid very much if he does a SPIA? No. Where's he want? He wants money where? Where he makes money on it every year. Turnover cost. If you knew how much turnover, because remember, what does an advisor tell us? You should buy in what? What does an advisor tell us? Buy in what? Buy and hold, buy and hold, buy and hold. If the market goes down, what do they tell you? Stay the course, stay the course, stay the course. It'll come back, it'll come back. Isn't it interesting that they preach and holler and tell us over and over, buy and hold, buy and hold, buy and hold. But when we look at the funds they put us in, it has a 50% turnover ratio. It has an 80% turnover ratio. It has a 100% turnover. Why are they telling us to buy and hold at the same time they have the funds they have us in are buying and selling? Why? I guess what's good for the goose is what? Do you get it, guys? When they are saying these things, preferred list, guys, Mark sends me once a year the paperwork where it shows like Waddell & Reed or any of the other entities out there actually get kickbacks from the funds. Jackson National Variable Annuity gets huge kickbacks from several of the funds that they offer versus the other funds. Guess what they push? Lincoln, same thing. Waddell & Reed, same thing. Edward Jones, same thing. What? Anybody? Take a wild guess. Guess what fund group gives Edward Jones the biggest kickback? Those of you that have sat down, yeah, Tom's got it. Nick's got it. What fund group gives Edward Jones the biggest kickback? For those of you that sat down with Edward Jones, where is all the money? Bill's got it, Debbie's got it, Bonnie's got it, American funds, yep. So, motive for preferred fund, this is what? They hid that. If they knew, because how many different mutual funds are there out there? Tens of thousands. And isn't it interesting that, maybe American Funds does have one good fund, but out of the tens of thousands of mutual funds, Why are all of your funds in American funds? Don't you think there would have been like maybe one outside of American funds that would have been better than American funds? Because if American funds really had the lock on every type of investment you need, how many other fund groups would there be out there? None. That's right. There'd only be American funds, but there's tens of thousands, which means what? So it's not that American funds is bad, but do you want funds that aren't bad, or do you want the best funds? Which one? Funds that aren't bad? Do you want a car that's not really that bad, or do you want the best car? Do you want a house that's really not that bad, or you want the best house? Do you want your money in something that's really not that bad, or you want the best one? So why did he show you that you had other choices besides American funds? Or did he just show you American funds? Why do you think that's the case? Risk reward. Hit it. We just talked about the diagonal line. All the funds fall below it. So you could be investing on this diagonal line for free, or pay him a king's ransom to have you performing and making less money at higher risk. That's crazy. Diversification. He wanted to make you're not diversified. Basically, your funds are acting as the S&P 500. They're not diversified. They're all acting the same. So why does he have you in 30 different funds when they all act like one fund? If he said, hey, we can do this all with one fund, would you need him? No. So instead, he's got you in 30 funds to make it look complicated. But in the end, when all these 30 funds, what does the research show here? What does Morningstar show? That they're acting diversified, or they're all acting the exact same? And then after we do all of these motives, we go backwards. We go right back this way, diversification. So why did we find you diversified? No. Why did he not show you that? Risk reward. Are you taking more or less? Why did that happen? Preferred list. Why did that happen? Turnover cost. Why did that happen? Asset weighting. Why did that happen? Fees. Why did that happen? We go all the way backwards. Why do we go backwards at the end? What am I listening for? I'm listening for him to say who. When I go through each one of those things, what am I looking for? And here's the funny thing. Yeah, we're looking for my guy did this, my guy did that. Those first seven things where we never mentioned their guy, did we mention their guy's name for the first seven non-financial things? No. But the funny thing is, when you go backwards, it rewrites history. Because when you get back to the umbrella, and why didn't he tell you that? Because he wants to screw me. Why didn't he tell you about the identity theft? Because he wants to screw me. See, by the time we're going backwards, they're so angry, even these things they start saying what? He did on purpose. Does that make sense? Because they're on a roll. He did that. He did that. So when we went this way, they didn't blame him. They might have thought he was lazy or didn't know. But when we go backwards, they're so angry. They start saying, yeah, the umbrella, he doesn't really care if I get sued or not. Yeah, the identity theft plan. In fact, I'm afraid he's going to steal my identity based on all the stuff he's done. See, they get mad and they start signing. It rewrites history. Does that make sense? They blame their guy because they either have to blame their guy or who? Themselves. How many people want to blame themselves? Nobody. So we're listening for, my guy did this to me, my guy did that to me, my guy did this to me, my guy did that to me. So when that happens and you have a bus full of people show up to your seminar, and let's say that there's, make the math easy, 10 buying units, how many of those buying units should you sell? Every single one of them that have money. What if they're tire kickers? And guys, every single person in that room is a tire kicker or a plate licker. Does any one of them plan to move their money to you? No. Leads. Do any of those people plan on moving their money to you? No. But we don't market because we're afraid what? Well, I don't really want to market because it's getting me in front of good qualified people. Why does it mean when they say good qualified people? Ready to buy, Tom. Right. They're ready to buy. It's not money. Guys, I have yet to find somebody who filled a seminar that didn't have people in that room with money. Are there going to be people in that room with no money? Yes. Are there going to be people in that room that are do-it-yourselfers? Yes. Are there going to be people in there with money? Yes. It's going to be a cross-section of society. But when advisors tell me that they don't market because they don't get enough qualified people, in their mind, qualified people is people who are ready to buy. What if they said, that room was full of people who love their advisors? What would I say to that? If that was me presenting to that group, and they said, this room is full of everybody that loves their advisors, I would be dancing a jig. Why? Because the more they love their advisors, the more it hurts when they find out he's screwing them. I mean, jilted by a lover, that's pretty bad. Jilted by somebody on the first date? Yeah, I guess that happens. What if the room is full of people who love their advisor, people who are tire kickers, people who are plate lickers? I'm happy. Hallelujah. Fill them up. Give me 100 of those people, please. Why? Why am I like that? And why are the guys that are in my top 10, my top 20 like that? Are they worried about being in a room full of tire kickers and plate lickers? Or are they licking their chops? Or is that advisor licking their chops? Because when you do it right, they move. Does that make sense? So let's look at our next example of doing it right. And we're going to talk about the medical. Last week we talked power of attorney. Now we're going to talk about the medical power of attorney and filing it electronically. So we use DocuBank for that. So with this DocuBank cards, everybody should have a DocuBank membership. It's free to you. Look at the things that are on this. It has your allergies. It has your conditions, who you should contact, who your advisor, you can even have your doctor. You can have all sorts of things inside of here, and Missy's going to talk about that a little bit later. But how do we go from that being a nice thing to something that they should be doing? Oh, let me go back here, and I have to go escape, and then we're going to go to. So the next thing we wanted to cover was your, if I can find it here, is your medical power of attorney. Now, just like your healthcare power of attorney, your financial power of attorney, which we just talked about, this is going to appoint somebody to handle your what?
Medical decisions.
Medical decisions. So again, good job getting that done. That's awesome. So you've appointed Rochelle, and Rochelle's appointed you. That's terrific. That's the way it should be done. And now, what did I do there, guys? Patting them on the back, telling them, hey, did a good job getting that. And you'll notice that every way through the 21-point checklist, I always start out with, hey, good job. Every point, good job having your will done. Good job having your power of attorney done. Good job having your medical power of attorney done. Good job having property casualty insurance. Good job with these investments. See, you start out patting them on the back. Do you carry those around with you in your wallet, in your purse all the time?
No, I think we've got it like in a strong box at the house.
Exactly. I mean, I don't. I've never heard anybody does carry that stuff around. So the reason I bring that up is because when you go to a hospital, are they concerned about paperwork, or they say, oh, paperwork. We don't really need to worry about that.
No, they have you fill out tons of paperwork.
And they don't want to help you until what?
Until all the paperwork's done.
Yeah. So if you don't have that paperwork, let's say you're traveling, or let's say it's more of an urgent matter, and obviously we do or don't have that paperwork with us.
No, we don't have it on us. No.
Guess what the hospital say? No problemo. We have our own. So you don't have to go running around for it, but we'll give you ours. Now, who do you think their paperwork is written by? Are your attorney or their attorneys?
Their attorneys.
And are their attorneys worried about you or the hospital?
No, they're worried about the hospital.
Mm-hmm. But we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. I mean, our loved one is in dire need, and are we going to go run around trying to find that? Or if we're traveling, can we even get our hands on that? Or are we just going to sign the hospitals?
I'm sure we'll end up signing the hospitals.
And again, that's going to be better for you or better for the hospital?
Well, it's going to be better for them.
Yeah. So there is a tier that we recommend for all of our clients, and here's what. So far, guys, can Jeff answer any of these questions except the way he's answering them? The way those questions are asked, would any sane person answer them any differently than Jeff's answering. See the power of the script that we created 2 decades ago?
What that cure is, it's a online encrypted vault that you can keep all of your emergency documents in there. You can keep your financial power of attorney because we'll be traveling and maybe need that.
Yeah.
Things can happen, right?
Yeah.
Your healthcare power of attorney, really any important document. Your survivor's guide you could put in there as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, and it's right here where you actually they can either have it faxed to you, you can access it online, etc. So when the hospital says, put theirs in front of you, you can say, no. Do you have the internet here? And you can just do what?
Just give them that card.
Yeah, and then you can download it for it. Also, if you think about it, if you're ever, God forbid, we're in an accident, where's the first place that the emergency responders look? After they take care of you and stabilize you, what are they going to do? They're going to want to who this person is.
Sure.
How do they determine that?
They look at your driver's license
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
And I bring that up because this encrypted vault service has a little sticker here too. And see how it says look for this card?
Yeah.
So now they're going to look for the card. You see also on this card that it has my, if we look a little closer here, I better put that in my pants or I'll leave it here. See how it says, here's the things that I'm allergic to?
Sure, yeah.
Here's the things that, the prescriptions I presently take?
Yeah.
And why is it important that they know what prescriptions you presently take?
Well, so that they know not to prescribe anything or give you anything that might not work with that. Or
can that be a problem?
That could be
a
problem.
And the sooner they know that, the better, or just wing it?
The better.
So why would we actually purchase this service for all of our clients? Why do you think we do that?
Just to make sure that they have the information and you're doing all the things to help your clients.
Now, again, of my top 10 or 20 advisors, guess how many of them actually do purchase this service for the first year for their client? After the first year, some of them continue to let the buy it or pay for it because it's relatively inexpensive. Some of them let the client go ahead and pay it for themselves if they want to keep doing it. But what percentage do you think? Yeah, 100% of them. Why? How much is it, Missy? How much does it cost for this, buying a bundle of these for your clients?
Well, we give them the first, we at 5Q give them the first 2 free. So there you go, you get 2 without any cost. And then we actually give you discounted rates by being an affiliate of 5Q. So for your first 10, you actually get them at a discounted price. Once you get past your first 12, let's just call it then, your 1-year membership is a $55 value that you get for $25. So it's $25
a year, most expensive. And the first 10 or 12 are what? Is it like $10 each or something for the first 10 or 12?
Yep. So 2 free and then 10 for $100 for $99. So $10 a piece.
So best case scenario, $10. The worst case scenario, $25. So that's why a lot of my guys just buy them because it's another way. And guys, do they remind them they're getting it if they decide to pay for it annually? Do they remind the client that I'm paying for this in a nice, friendly way? Yes. You just don't pay it and let it go under you. When you do something of value, you have to tell people.
That's exactly why we do that. Yeah. So now, the one thing about your healthcare power of attorney, though, is it looks like it's missing the most important half.
Okay.
Is this all of your?
Yeah, that's everything.
Okay, we're going to cover the Quality of Life Directive next week. So this is how we cover the DocuBank. Did we turn it from a nice thing into something that, I think I need that thing? Is it now a nice thing or I want that thing? I want that thing. So Missy's going to kind of walk through some of the other things that it can do. And it's a very powerful. One of my guys actually, it's his best tool for getting clients. He does seminars and he offers free memberships to anybody that comes in for appointments, and he gets tons of appointments. I thought, I always thought DocuBank has a nice thing. I don't know if it's going to be that good at. I'm still trying to pull up my. Just a second here. But he's like, Mike, no, you're crazy. It's awesome. I get appointments after appointments, and people are chomping at the bit because he actually spends some time doing it in his seminars, doing some of the things I do in the 21-point checklist to get people salivating for it. So all of the information on this is under resources and then DocuBank. But then, Missy, you're going to talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, I was just going to chime in on a couple of things here that I do think is important. So on that resources page that Mike just pointed you to, you can click the DocuBank link and it's going to bring you into kind of our DocuBank page. So right on the screen right now, there's a DocuBank link. Yeah, if you click that one, you're going to go to that next page that has a number of different resources out there. I think a great starting point to kind of get the understanding as to what DocuBank can completely do for you, because it is more than just electronically filing your medical power of attorney. It really has, I'm going to say, two really main parts to it. One is, of course, the emergency wallet card, so that the doctors and hospitals can see and know how to get your emergency information how you want things to be handled. So that's the main first part. And of course, that's you know, the really important part that we kind of started with the service with. The second part of that is that online vault. Mike touched on it just a bit in that training video, but the online vault is a secure holding spot that you can put any of your personal files. So it might be digital assets. That's now become a very big deal. Maybe it wasn't a big deal 10 years ago or 5 years ago even, but it's a big deal for you to have digital assets. Your medication list, so that maybe your kids need access to that at some point in the future. Any estate planning documents, maybe your house
Your
deeds,
kids' HIPAA.
or yeah, your kids, college students, HIPAA information, insurance policies, anything can go in that online vault. And it's secure, and you can securely share it with other people, a person, multiple people, different people, based upon what the item is. So it's a way for the client to have access to securely hold documents, not necessarily in their filing drawer at home where they're like, oh, by the way, kids, here's where this important document is. So it's kind of a two-part system. And, you know, in addition to that, you still have the ability of getting a hold of a real person. So if your kids...
Can I bring up something too, Missy?
Yep.
And maybe you guys are different, but myself and my friends, we all laugh because there's only one person in the household that knows where things are, and who is that? It ain't me. Who is it? Yeah, Mama knows where everything is. If I'm looking for something that I can never find it, only she knows where it is. So could you make a point that by having this card, guess how easy it is for both Mama and Papa to know where that stuff is, and children? Is that a small or a big thing? I spent 7 hours looking for an appraisal that I needed for some financial thing I was doing, and then guess how quickly my wife found it? And did she even go to a place that I looked already 3 or 4 times? Yes. So am I out to lunch there, or generally does one person in the family know where stuff is and the other one doesn't? Or when you run into a couple, heck, you know what, they know about the investments and they know exactly where all the documents of everything in the household is? Is that the way most households run? So would that be a point you'd also, that, you know, this encrypted vault, how easy would it be for either party to find these things? Or a child? Make sense? Sorry, Missy.
No, that all good points. So yeah, and I was just going to kind of finish up by saying that, you know, the DocuBank itself also has a real person available to talk to 24/7. So if your kids are struggling with, you know, for whatever reason, can't figure out how to use the card and get access to the information, there is a real person that you can actually get a hold of. So it's important that your clients are aware of this. It's important that you guys are aware of it. By being a member of 5Q, we do have special discounts. I kind of talked briefly about those before, but 5Q is such a believer in the system that we actually give you your first 2 client memberships free. We pay for your first 2 client memberships. And so when you get signed up with DocuBank, you get those first 2 right out of the gate. You as an agent get your own for you and your family, so you can kind of try it out, get familiar with it. So it's a great service, guys, and I'd really encourage you to utilize that. You get a, you know, You can get the bundled deal. Again, it's kind of a one-time offer as far as when you get signed up, you need to be working on getting those bundled deals right out of the gate, because it's not something that 2 years later you're going to come back to and say, hey, you know what, I think I might want my bundle now. So utilize your own service, utilize it for yourself so you can kind of check out the service, but I promise you, you won't be disappointed with what it has to offer. It's pretty darn inexpensive in the grand scheme of things. We give you discounted prices on the ongoing memberships as well. Like I said, I think they retail for, I believe it's $55, and we give them to you for $25. Again, by being affiliated.
And
with
is it a horrible thing for whoever's looking for this stuff to see your name and contact information here?
Nope.
Who are the kids going to call? So how many of your clients should have this? Obviously, not all of them are going to buy it, but how many? If you presented this to them the way we presented it here in the last 10 minutes, how many of you think they would say, yeah, I think we do need it. For that cost, we'll need it. Or if you're going to give it to me for free, absolutely, I want it. If you're going to pay for it, all of them would want it. If they're going to pay $25 a year, do you think the majority or very few? Now ask yourself, what percentage of your clients have DocuBank right now? And if you're being honest, what are you going to say? A high percentage or a low percentage? So guess what you should be doing for your current clients over the next couple of months? Make sense? Now,
and Mike, can you go to that?
Obviously, because it costs so much, Missy, we get a big kickback. 5Q gets a huge kickback from DocuBank, right? So how much do we make on a yearly basis from DocuBank?
We make exactly $0. There is zero kickback for us to offer this service at a discount for you guys. We've returned every bit of that discount directly into a discounted price for you guys. So 5Q takes nothing of this. This is simply, we believe in the service, and we believe that it's an important part for you to be able to offer to your clients and provide them with that extra peace of mind by them knowing they've got everything all in one safe, secure location.
Make sense, guys?
Mike, could you just go to that last slide? I just wanted to point out, so if you're interested, so that 4-minute video that's circled there, that's great. That just goes through kind of a lot of what I just kind of gave you. But if you have 4 minutes to look at it or need a refresher, that's great. Right to the left of that, where it says more information, and then there's the firm setup form, that's how you would get your firm set up. So, and by that, what that means is that information on the card, that's all that you're putting on that form. So if you want your client's cards printed with your name on it, which you'd be foolish not to, that's part of that firm setup form. So that's to get you started with your free membership. It's to get you started with the 2 free memberships that 5Q offers you. And then below that is the client enrollment form as well. So once you have your first couple of clients that you want to get enrolled and have them try out the service, that's the enrollment forms as well. So, and again, we've got a contact person directly over there. I actually have all of his information out on our resources page. His name is Mike Wall. He's fabulous. So once your firm is set up, actually, then they'll do a quick little training with you just to kind of give you all the ins and outs of the system, answer any questions that you might have after you personally have used it. But Mike Wall, he's awesome. But I would say the first starting point, look at that 4-minute video and then fill out that firm setup form, and that will get you off and running. Of course, if you have any questions, reach out to myself. I'd be more than happy to get you connected with Mike and his team to get going on DocuBank. So it's a great service, guys. I personally have it myself, and I actually think that it's something that you're completely missing out on if you're not doing it for your clients.
Make sense? So guys, going through it step by step, 24 checklist, you're still in favor of just us each week covering one topic, just moving all the way through all 21 items? So you can see why we're doing it and why the script's written the way it is? We got 2 yeses. Okay, well, you 2 can be on next week and everybody else can skip it. Okay, now everybody's saying yes.
Here comes
good. All right. You guys have a fantastic rest of the week, and we'll talk to you all next Monday. And guys, get your DocuBank membership yourself and start presenting to your clients. They can decide whether they want it or not, but you got to let them know the advantages of having it. I don't see why they wouldn't want it. So, again, just one way to lock them to you and to lock their kids to you. All right? Have a good week. Talk to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.